My legs are out, dangling, getting dragged, and I'm screaming, puberty voice. Welcome everybody to a new segment we're going to be calling Couch Q&A. We didn't talk about it, but I invented it.
Well, we got a bunch of questions from Twitter.
Yeah.
And we thought since this was Valentine's Day, we'd start off with doing the ones that
Speaking of Valentine.
pertain to like
We
our
don't
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
No, only in front of Ari because we want her to see that we love
wanted
each
to see
other.
that, think that at least.
I started writing all
This
the
is
names down, and then it got. I mean, my handwriting, I couldn't even read it. It just got to be too much.
This is our first Q&A, okay? So give us a rest. Give it a break.
Well, okay, so a lot of people asked how we met.
How do we meet?
Yeah.
Funny story. Would you like me to field this one? Or
You
do you
can-
want to field it? Do you have a story? Go ahead.
Well, it's not a story. It's
You're going to put the baby monitor right here?
First
How do
of
we
all,
meet?
we went to the same high school,
Right.
but I was 2 grades older, and we never talked because
Never.
we never had any classes together or anything like that.
No.
And I don't think you really normally hang out with boys 2 years younger than you.
When you're in 9th grade and a girl, you don't talk to 7th grade boys.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I mean, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah, that would have been weird. People would have thought something was wrong with me. So
Especially when they look like I look.
we went to like this super small high school, so everyone's like friends on Facebook. I think we were probably friends on there for like 4 years.
Afterward,
No,
after we
like,
left and graduated.
Yeah, after we were already like graduated from college even.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just friends on there and never acknowledged each other until one day I posted that I needed a cell phone. I needed a Verizon phone because mine died. Not one of my friends offered me their cell phone.
Friends.
John, out of nowhere, I've never talked to this kid
We've
in my
never
life.
talked in our
Never
life.
talked.
This is now, how old are we at this point? I'm like 27.
I was 29.
So I was like 26 or 27.
Yeah. Yes, because you had a birthday right after we met.
Yeah, so I was 27.
So he said, "Hey, I have a phone," and I was just like, "Okay."
This is how many years? I was 13.
Mind you, I was in
So
Florida.
This is 13 years later after I initially first had a crush on her and never talked to her.
Yeah. So I lived in Florida and he lived in Michigan. So I was thinking like, okay, the one person that offers their phone doesn't even live near me. So anyway, I kind of like ignored it at first because I was like, well, I'm hoping somebody like nearby has a phone. So like a day or so went by maybe. So he overnighted the phone.
I had several Verizon phones, so I sat down and cleaned them all up with some rubbing alcohol.
So then you put your number not in the phone. It was like closed in the phone.
On a sticky note.
Yeah. This was before like everyone had iPhones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had exchanged some emails, and then at one point I stopped responding to his emails or his Facebook messages because I was like, well, what's the point? We live in different states. And then he sent me this big long thing about how he had this huge crush on me in high school. And
It was one of those moments where I was messaging, we were messaging back and forth, and then it stopped. And it stopped mainly because I hadn't asked like a follow-up question. Usually if somebody's interested in you, they'll still try to find a way to talk. I at that point I was at kind of a bridge in the road where I was like, what do I do? Do I just let this go? She doesn't seem super interested, so maybe I just let it go. Or do I just take the risk and go for it? That is why you take risks. Right there. Because I was like, you know what? Put it all out there. Put it all out there. There's no benefit. There's zero benefit from just holding back. It was worth the risk because
now I'm knocked up.
Yep.
Which actually, there was another question. Did we know right away that we would get married? And kind of, we did.
We kind of did.
Because before I even met him, when I was reading one of the messages, I actually said to myself, I can't believe I'm going to marry
This guy.
John from high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, by the time we actually met, like, I think at that point, I mean, first of all, we were like, I was pushing 30. At that point, we were like, it's gotta work, or else we're kind of out of options.
We don't really have anywhere else to go.
So the next question has always been a little bit of a sensitive subject.
No, I know what this is.
And it's, how did John propose? I almost don't know if we should talk about it because...
No, let's talk about it.
Okay, well, let me
My
just,
side of the story.
let me
'cause
just
you
start
you
out
told
by
the last story
saying
that you loved me.
that I
It's
do.
Valentine's Day.
But I, at that point, was no longer in the scrapbooking game.
See, she likes to try to play this trump card. Listen to me right now. Here's what went down. This girl, every single time I talked to her, she talked about scrapbooking. Every conversation was about scrapbooking. And I imagined I was going to walk into that house and it was piled with like picture albums.
I didn't
and
know
stuff.
you were going to lie.
I'm not lying.
I never
I
talked
tell the
about
truth.
scrapbooking.
She loved it. She loves
I didn't
scrapbook.
even
And you
scrapbook
still,
anymore.
You still love scrapbook. There were a lot of catalysts, a lot of factors at play here. She lived in Florida. I didn't know the area. I don't know anything out there. I wanted it to be down there in Florida so she could be with her friends. Her friends are borderline family to her. They still are. Mm-hmm. You talk to them every day still, 5 years later. I wanted her to be with her friends when it all went down. Not when it went down, but the day after, so she could tell them and show them. So it had to be in Florida. I knew nothing of the areas. We got engaged rather quickly. I had only been out there a couple of times. So I didn't know anything. And I wanted her... I flew down there. I got down there late one night. I had the ring. I was ready to go. I had written out a letter that as I'm writing it on the plane, I'm sobbing. I'm crying because I'm like, this is pure gold. Little did I know I was going to marry Rock of Gibraltar over here. Doesn't cry over anything. So I want to propose that night, and I want to be her to have the entire weekend to be able to celebrate it with her friends.
Well, first of all, you said, hey, maybe when I come in,
we'll do some scrapbooking.
We can do some scrapbooking.
Because you love it so much.
And I said, well, I'm probably not going to want to do that because his flights would get in at like 10:30 at night. So I specifically said, I'm probably not going to want to do that.
I was young at the time,
like,
compared to now,
you know,
and
you
I wasn't very
out,
savvy.
I kind of thought it was weird that he wanted to
I was a night owl. I stayed up till 2. Like, let's scrapbook till 2. Let's have a party. So I thought, we're going to scrapbook together. It's going to be a fun, romantic time. We'll do some kissing and whatnot. And I took a picture of her. Or the plan was, take a picture of her. Say this would go in the scrapbook. No.
You were going to have like a little...
I was going to hide...
caption thing?
I was going to have the note in the scrapbook. I was going to distract her.
He did not.
I was going to have the note. I did have it all thought out.
I mean, you guys.
I was going to have the note.
If you're in Florida, just go to the beach. I mean,
just go to the beach. That's ridiculous. I was going to hide this beautiful note in the scrapbook, and then she was going to come back and she was going to open it and see it and read it, and it was going to be like part of the scrapbook and all that stuff. There was also something in there, I don't remember how this was going to work, but I was going to get a picture of her and put that in it and develop it that night somehow. But I was going to, and then I was going to caption it, and it was going to say, "This is you right before I propose to you." Beautiful. Y'all getting chills.
It doesn't make sense.
This is a picture of you right before I propose. There was a way. Somehow I had it planned out. Either way, she was no go on the scrapbooking. Wasn't going to happen. It had to happen that night. So I walked out into her living room with the ring. I got on my knee and I read the beautiful letter, and we got engaged in her living room. People get married in courthouses.
Yeah.
I'm very romantic.
You can never, you only get one chance. So boys, just think it through. Make sure it makes sense. Maybe run it by somebody before you do it.
Next
Talk to
question.
Josh about it.
Next question. This
Where-
is the worst.
Where was our honeymoon? Our honeymoon was like the greatest vacation ever. We went to.
You liked
Se-
the ring, didn't
secret-
you? You at least you liked the ring.
Well, I did, but the ring
And
got.
she had a beautiful wedding.
The
It was
ring
so
got
beautiful.
ruined,
played
so I
guitar.
actually don't even have the
I
thing.
played guitar for her at our wedding, sang a song for her
Because
at our
that's because
wedding.
I asked him to. He didn't.
It was gonna happen either way, whether she asked or not.
Does YouTube ever put a strain on your relationship? Every day.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Every job puts a strain on your relationship.
Sure.
Only because, I guess in this situation, because he works so much, which is really fine. Like, I'm used to it, but
How much do I work? That's what people are
like
gonna
all
wonder.
the time. Our first year of marriage, I don't even think I saw him
Right.
because he was working 2 jobs. But even after he quit the one, he works so much that I really didn't. I mean, if he didn't work from home, I probably wouldn't see him
Probably not.
at all. So every once in a while, it gets to me, and then I just tell him. Or sometimes I might just get in a bad mood, and then
I'll sense it.
and
I'll
he'll
know.
sense it. Yeah. So
know we
I
know.
feel like we do pretty good.
It took a little while. We didn't ever really fight over it because her dad worked like an animal as well. So
I just
she
thought it was
knows-
normal.
She knows that is normal. It's still something we work on. It's
Yeah.
every day we work on it still.
Especially now that we have a child.
I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do. And I'm very lucky to have a wife that's understanding of the time that it takes to do what I do. And I'm really disappointed that she doesn't like the way that I propose to her. Go ahead.
Okay, next question is, do I enjoy John working from home? And the answer is definitely yes.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. We talked about that the other day. Like, if he were to have a job,
Like a
he
9 to
left
5, leave the house, yeah.
I'm so used to him being around that I don't think I would like it. But like, if he got offered like $1 million or something to work 9 to 5, then I'd probably consider it.
Yeah.
But if
If
no one's
it's
offering-
that valuable to have me around.
yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Even though I'm not around a lot. How many hours a day do you see me? 2 to 3?
Well, yeah, probably 2 to 3,
Yeah.
depending on the day.
But then I stay up till 4 and work.
Yeah. What is our favorite way to spend family time?
Making sweet.
Well, I mean, our family includes Ari,
Oh,
so, right? Everyone knows we eat pizza and
Pizza.
watch television.
making sweet mouth noises eating pizza. So,
So with Ari,
yeah.
we really just hang out here.
Since we moved here, my favorite thing's been going to the beach. I love
we do that.
we live fairly close to the beach right now, which is kind of why we moved. And it's nice to get kind of that beach relaxing atmosphere for like a half hour and then leave. It's
We
not
would
like
go
a
for
huge
longer
commitment.
than that,
Yeah, but it's not like
yeah.
a huge commitment, you know.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. And I
Or
think
even
this
going
year,
downtown.
this year it's going to be amazing. Ari's going to enjoy it even more.
Nicole's thoughts on when John started growing his channel and decided to do YouTube full time. I was actually really supportive because it's so great.
She was.
I knew that he had the potential to do really well at it, and I knew he really liked it, and I knew he wasn't like in love with his other job. I actually thought his other job he was going to have a heart attack
It was
because
tough.
he was so stressed and he had to deal with homeowners all the time and like calling and stuff, and I just didn't. I just felt like you were
My
just
heart-
real
my heart wasn't in it.
grouchy all the
Yeah,
time.
it was hard.
So I encouraged him to just do YouTube full time, and if it didn't work out, like I just felt like we would have figured something else out.
If Nicole hadn't been the one to say, yeah, go for it, we wouldn't be where we are today. No question.
You know, you'd probably
We
still
wouldn't.
be working
I'd be working
in the
there.
business.
And my heart wasn't in it. I wasn't happy financially. It wasn't. I was losing money for the company. She was super supportive. She saw that I was driven, and if you see that in your man,
Yeah, you
encourage
want
him to go for
your
it.
husband to do what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually just saved this last question because I really liked it. Has nothing to do with relationships.
Okay.
But I just really liked it. And somebody asked if I remember John's trombone skills from high school. He told me this story,
Yeah.
like when we started dating, that
I can pick it up from here
Okay.
if you'd like. I did. I can't believe this is a conversation. But there was one school morning where my mom was dropping me off. I didn't ride the bus. Parents drove us. Mom was dropping me off at school, and Nicole was actually out in the front of the school with a couple of her friends. And I got, I'm nervous. Of course, I'm not going to talk to her, but I'm just nervous because she's there, So
it was probably embarrassing carrying a trombone. I would imagine.
I think it was kind of just natural for me at the time. But I got out of the minivan and out of the the sliding door thing, and as I got out and I reached in to grab my trombone and pull it out, and as I reached in to get it, my mom took off. She drove off fast, like she was in a hurry, and it like hit me in the side, and I'm like half in the van, and my legs are out, dangling, getting dragged, and I'm screaming, puberty voice, Mom, stop! And she slams the brakes real quick, and I go sliding the other way, and then I get in the car real quick and shut the door and say, take me home right now. So from Nicole's perspective, you don't remember
I don't
this.
remember any of this.
From Nicole's perspective, she saw a young man get dragged off by his mother while his feet are dangling out the side of the minivan as he's grabbing his trombone out of the car. So yeah, you don't.
So wait,
even
that you
remember.
got in the car though and told your mom to go home, and she said,
No.
"Johnny, what are you doing? Get out of the van."
Get out of the van.
It's like she didn't even care.
No, didn't
That
care.
he was just
Didn't care that she
humiliated
almost
in
cut
front
me
of
in
his
half.
Future wife. So that wraps up our first Q&A.
Couch Q&A, honey.
Yeah, couch Q&A.
Couch Q&A numero uno, a dunno. Send in more questions. Do we need more questions?
I do have more questions.
Keep sending them in, though.
Yeah.
Comments. Twitter is great. Follow us both on Twitter. Send them in, mainly to her, because she's
Yeah.
writing them
John
down.
won't remember to write them
No.
down.
Send them in. We'll try to remember your names next time. Thank you to those of you that asked these questions. We love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's kiss for them.
I'd rather not.
Come on. Let's kiss. We do it for Ari. Come on.
Well,
Kiss me.
actually,
No, kiss me for real. I brushed my teeth this morning.